Derby County are rooted to the bottom of the Championship League table after suffering a 1-0 defeat versus Middlesbrough at the Riverside Stadium. That adds another game onto the games without win for Derby County. It's another loss on the board as well. It's very, very disappointing for Derby County. Battled well for 80 minutes before Finn Azaz put Middlesbrough in the lead with a really nice goal. It came from a poor bit of play from Kayden Jackson, who went to play the ball inside to Ibu Adams, who was not even expecting the pass to go. It ends up going through a couple of players, a couple of bobbles. I think it's Iheanacho who missed that shot, which was blocked, which fell to fit then Finn Azaz, who then put it into the back of the net. Now, obviously for Derby County, I think the writing is kind of on the wall for us now. There's 11 matches left of this season. The next I think 3 of the next 4 are at home, which is obviously really important for Derby County. And if Derby County are going to survive in the Championship this season, it's going to come from winning our home games. It's got to. Now, I'll put the lineups on screen right now. Derby County went with a 4-2-3-1. Zetterstrom in goal, back 4 of Niambi, Langas, Forsyth, Elder. A midfield 3 of Armstrong, Adams and Harness, with a front 3 of Jackson, Barkhazen and Yates. Decent side for Derby County, kind of. I don't really know. At this point, I just want this season to end. Genuinely just want this season to be over. I've just had enough. And I'm not ever going to put any blame on John Eustace. When we go down, this doesn't fall on the shoulders of John Eustace. Ultimately, yes, Eustace has been brought in with the intention to try and freshen things up. But ultimately, it happened too late. Happened in a situation where Derby County were practically on the downward slope. And to be able to rectify that without being able to bring in players is a bit of a joke. Now, I think we have to give massive props to Harrison Armstrong. I think he was the best player on the pitch for Derby County today. Close there with Craig Forsyth as well. And obviously, we look at the Middlesbrough side. It's a really good side. Travers in goal. Back 4 of Dyke-Steele, Ayling, Fry and Borges. Midfield 3 of Morris, Hackney and Whittaker. Azaz and Force on the wings. Conway up front on his own. Although I'm pretty sure Whittaker, Azaz and Force sort of had that free role. And you can just look at the difference in quality between the two sides. You've got Iheanacho, Giles, Samuel Illing Jr. coming off the bench. You've got players like Dan Barlaser not even getting on the pitch for Middlesbrough. You look at Derby's bench, and there's not really a great deal of quality there that is really going to change the game. You look at Charles Abuka, who got his opportunity on the bench for Derby County today. Obviously, it's obviously disappointing not to see the young lad get his debut, but it's one of those where we put our 5 subs on: Liam Thompson, Ben Osborne, Kenzo Heldmine, Jorgen Selverson and Kmar Roof. Now, I don't know. It's disappointing. Looking at Derby County, we find ourselves at the bottom of the table. It's still 4 points from safety, but Cardiff don't play till, I think, Cardiff, Hull and Plymouth don't play till Tuesday because of FA Cup weekend. So we're sort of I think it's game over. I think if Derby County are going down to League One, I think we need to start preparing for that now. And I think the only way that we can do that is starting to, I don't know, maybe move those players out who aren't going to be here in the summer. And who are those going to be? I don't really know. I've got no idea who's going to be here in the summer. Who's going to want to stay after that? Like, genuinely, who's going to want to stay at Derby County after this season that we've had? And a lot of people are going to talk about the fact that we haven't got any better under Eustace. And people have the right to say that, have the right to talk about that. I give them the benefit of the doubt. It hasn't really got any better. We're sort of still in the same position. I still don't believe Warren was getting the best out of these players. I also believe that Eustace isn't getting the best out of these players. But I think in Eustace's situation, this isn't his squad of players. This aren't the players that he wanted at the club to play the style of football he wanted to play. And that is sort of the situation we find ourselves in, that Derby County are very much on a downward spiral, and it falls at the hands of those in charge of the club and those who have the power to make decisions, because everything we do as a club, as Derby County, has someone to oversee it, and that person is chosen by somebody else or is the person at the top. So you have to have those conversations. You have to talk about David Clouds. You have to talk about Paul Warne, Stephen Pearce, Mark Thomas. You have to talk about these people, and at some point, someone's got to come to the forefront, not on Rams TV. It has to be a BBC Radio Derby, or even an interview with someone like Rams Talk, or something like that, where you can ask proper questions and not sort of those sorts of questions where it's sort of loaded and obviously the answers are already sort of decided before the question is asked, and that's what you get on Rams TV, unfortunately. Now, obviously, as I'm talking about this, I'm looking at the stats on the screen now. I'll put them up for you. 18 shots for Middlesbrough, 6 shots on target, 1 big chance missed. Derby County, 5 shots, 1 shot on target, 0 big chances. Now, we had 1 shot in the area compared to Middlesbrough's, what's that, 6, maybe 7 in the box, 8 in the box for Middlesbrough. And I don't know. I genuinely just don't know anymore. Like, I'm at the point where I'm just fed up with the situation, and the quicker this season ends, the better for Derby County and the better for the fan base. Next season ticket numbers, in my opinion, are going to go down. And that's not through fault of John Eustace. It's through fault of David Clowes and Stephen Pearce. And I really hope that we can turn it around over the course of the next 12 games. I've obviously spoke about how important that is. Obviously with Blackburn, Coventry, Preston at home, Burnley at home. But I personally can't tell you where we're going to get anything. I obviously, if you watched my video from a couple of days ago, I spoke about picking up a point against Middlesbrough today. I thought that would be sort of a derby thing to do. And realistically, did we deserve a point? Probably not. Did we deserve to lose? I don't know. It's a very, very awkward one. I don't think we're very good, and I don't know. Because I believe there's quality in this squad, and this is the situation that I find myself in every single week when I watch Derby County. Is I think there's quality there, and there's quality that can be seen on occasion. Now the problem is we don't get the most out of these players in whatever system we play, and the confidence is so low with these players that the fact that we brought in only 2 in January, or what was it, 2, 3, 4, whatever, to replace the 5 that left is a bit ridiculous. The confidence is gone, the ideas are gone, and we're just very much shit. And that is the best way to put it. Honestly, it is the best way to put it, because Derby County are in a situation where what have we changed? What have we added to this club that wasn't already here? Selverson, Roof, Armstrong, and Matt Clark, and Langas. Sorry, but ultimately, the problem there is you've brought in those ultimately to replace other people. Like Roof came in because we had no forward options because of Dejon Brown and Blackett Taylor's injury. Selverson came in to replace James Collins, who went out to Lincoln City. Armstrong came in to replace Tawanda Chiwa, who went back to Wolves. Langas came in to replace Curtis Nelson. Matt Clark came in to replace Erin Cashin. None of our signings have been to add to the squad. They've been to replace players who have moved on, or players who have wanted to leave, or things like that, and or players that are injured. And this is the problem that we face at Derby County. It's the problem we face as a club in total, in general. I think 45 is the magic number. If Derby County are going to do that, it's 16 points in 11 games. We really need to spin it massively. We've got to win 3 games in a row, realistically, because to get to 45, Derby County needs 16 points. That's 5 wins, or 4 wins, 3 draws, 4 draws, whatever. So we're very much ruined in a sense, and I really hope that we can turn it around. I personally don't think we will in the current circumstance. The form is very poor. People can talk about effort, can talk about resilience, can talk about work rate, but ultimately that doesn't win you football games. Like, we need a bit of quality. We're going to go down at the foot of the table, and It's the most embarrassing championship season. In fact, it's the most embarrassing season for a Derby County fan since that Premier League campaign where we finished on 11 points. But obviously during that season you had the caveats of the things off the pitch. Whereas this season we don't. And we haven't won since December 26th. We're now nearly 2.5 months since our last win. Haven't scored at home since that day either, I don't think. I think we've scored twice since that day against Norwich. Oh, we scored against Norwich, Cardiff and Leyton Orient. And we scored twice against Sheffield Wednesday. I don't know anymore. I've genuinely I've had it, and I'm disappointed, very disappointed, and it does feel like we're on our way back down to League One. Obviously, you can have your say down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. I assume you're all as disappointed as I am. It's a very, very tough situation, but hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. I will catch you in my next video. And yeah, I don't know. I'm done.